Bring out the dog.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you'll ever listen to.
Ooh, your final bros are here. It's Brian Hopper LaGrassa and Shane the Iron Slaw Smith. And we're joined by Huckenberg is back. We got Scott the Hitman, the Huckster. You know him as Huckman42 on Twitch. He's here. If you like NASCAR, if you like Skate 3. Skate 3?
Oh, yeah.
If you like Disney Skate.
I'll play it once every 3 years.
He's your guy, and man, we are slowly creeping into February. We're not there yet.
No.
But we have not reviewed a Cronenberg movie in general for a horror podcast. It's a little weird.
Very weird. Very weird we haven't touched Cronenberg. So we're going to touch
What else has he done?
the son, Brandon Cronenberg.
Yeah. So David Cronenberg has done in the late 70s and 80s.
90s.
Really?
Even in 90s and even in 2000s. He's been a body horror
Legend. Literally legend.
icon for sure.
So
Gotcha.
I'll run you down. He did The Fly. He did Videodrome. He did The Brood. He did Existenz. And then...
Is that a pill? Or?
No.
Scanners, right?
He did Scanners, and he did Dead Ringers.
Literally never heard of a single one of those.
Then he's like, okay.
But I'm uncultured.
He also did Crash.
Oh, my
Not
God.
the Oscar-winning Crash, the better Crash. Then he transitioned, though. He's like, I'm going to change my career up. I'm going to do more thriller action movies.
Are these all American films?
Yes.
Okay.
So then he did A History of Violence.
Eastern Promises.
He did Eastern Promises, and he did A Dangerous Method.
Dangerous Method was very interesting.
Yes.
Because that was the whole psychology movie.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
If you haven't seen A History of Violence,
13 movies.
you should watch A History of Violence tomorrow because it's one of my favorite movies ever made.
I really like both of the Viggo Mortensen movies.
Eastern Promises is also very
They
good.
are so good. Both of them are so good for a man that is really known for body horror and to switch up entirely into an action drama. It was just kind of wild.
Okay,
He did a
and
good job with it.
And then Scott, if I'm going to recommend his body horror, you 100% have to watch The Fly. It's with Jeff Goldblum. It's actually
The Fly. It's like a classic.
Maybe if I see
it's Jeff Goldblum
trailer.
slowly is transformed into a human fly because of a teleportation experiment gone wrong.
Oh.
It's fascinating, incredible movie. We didn't also mention that he did The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken, which is another great movie. Okay. Has one of the coolest death scenes of all time with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, no, he's got a great body of work, but then there's Brandon Cronenberg,
his son.
So this is where we're starting with the Cronenberg.
Yes.
Very odd, but as we're starting with the Cronenberg
Yes.
movie. So he's done Antiviral, he's done Possessor, and he's done Infinity Pool
Which is today's movie.
Yep, and this movie is on Hulu. It does star Alexander Skarsgard, who does have the same chin as Tom Brady, and it also stars Mia Goth.
Who does have the same accent as the poor children Oliver Twist.
Yo, her accent is fucking nuts.
Jamesy!
Her London accent is insane. She's a great actress.
Both the dogs perked up after you did that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The pups do not like a thick British accent.
Yeah.
What am I, just out of curiosity, what am I doing here? Right now? Why am I here? This is a good movie.
That's a good point. That is a great point. To be fair, though, we've only had you on good movies.
To be fair, too, though, it is a good movie.
It's a little fucked up,
but
I guess.
It's a little weird. And also, the other movies that we've had you on, it's not that they were bad movies.
No, you're right.
They're
You're
just
right.
weird movies.
Yeah,
it's kind of bizarre.
You're right. You're right. This is a
society,
this
hobo.
Is a higher quality. I don't know. That's not the right word, but yeah.
It's definitely a higher quality.
No, I get what you're saying, but we've kind of been breaking this mold with you lately because the last two movies you were on, weren't they?
They were also normal-ish.
It was Hatchet 2, right?
Hatchet 2 was the last movie he was on.
Yeah.
Hellraiser.
And Hellraiser.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's fair. But I just really liked Hellraiser, so
that's a great movie.
And Hatchet was also really great too, but that was probably Hatchet's more like low quality.
Yeah, it's not like low budget, but it's a
It's
little
not
bit more
low
low
budget.
budget. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more on the lower scale. It's not like this is obviously was a major motion picture.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
I mean, they got Mia Goth, Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah.
You got a budget.
What I would say with this movie I found interesting is that it was originally cut for NC-17.
I've seen. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I went to a little website I like to do some research on called moviecensorship.com.
There you go.
And it gives you scene by scene breakdowns of what is cut between cuts, and we could talk about them when we get to them. I don't want to spoil them. Some of them were actually spoiler filled.
That's fine, but I know they went out of their way to try to get this to rated R.
You'll understand why as soon as I mention some of the scenes.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
All right, so do you want to jump into the spooky pit and talk about it? There's a lot to talk about. We're going to clone something. I might clone the spooky pit.
Oh my god. Are we doing this?
Yeah, fucking jump into the spooky
Break
pit.
the universe if you do that.
Infinity Pool was released in 2023. Tolqa is real nice this time of year. Directed by Brandon Cronenberg, and it stars Alexander Skarsgard as James Foster, Mia Goth as Gabby Bauer, Cleopatra Coleman as M. Foster, and Jaleel Lesper as Albin Bauer. Infinity Pool. Why did we start with this Cronenberg movie? It is a new movie. It's got Skarsgard. We've just reviewed a ton of movies with Mia Goth last year. And it is a fascinating watch. It really is. What is it about? Well, I guess we'll have to go into it because it's an infinity pool.
Yeah. So Mia Goth, she's like really become like a face of this podcast recently with like Pearl and X and
I'm gonna keep saying I said it on the last podcast that we did with X and Pearl. I said it, she looks like Melissa. Gonna say it again. You don't see it?
I have no comments because I could go many directions. I feel like with that, I don't know.
It's just a very simple question. Do you think she looks like her?
No.
Okay, that's fair. I see a resemblance, and
There might be a resemblance.
Kaylin said that she also thinks that she looks like her.
interesting.
Now, does Melissa thinks that she looks like her?
I don't know. I feel like that's a dangerous question to ask a girl.
Yeah, because if she thinks she's like pretty, she'll fucking love it. This isn't Melissa. This is just like any.
No,
female in
yeah.
general. But if she thinks she's like weird looking in any way,
So like, it's not like that. Mia Goth has an appeal.
Yes.
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like she's like someone that has an appeal, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. She's polarizing.
She's interesting. Her accent, though, really, really makes her almost like hard to watch in this movie. Like she's hard to fucking.
It really
handle.
only comes out at the end when she's like mocking him.
yeah. At the
Oh,
bus, with the
little
bus.
Jamesy sad.
Walking.
when she's on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Jamesy upset.
It's wild.
Yeah.
This movie really kind of escalates. That's like my big thing.
Very quickly.
I
Like
feel
we're,
like it escalates like a little too quick and a little too much.
But you know what? It was weird because when I was watching the beginning, they do the camera slow, creepy music, and they turn it, and then it's like, oh, all right, like it's a horror movie, but they're like walking into like a really nice resort, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And
I
then,
thought I was
like,
watching Old again.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes later, they get into it like the real deal. So
Caitlin was definitely getting vertigo from that.
Really?
Right out of
She
the
doesn't-
gate. Yeah,
she can't do
does
that?
not do well with that stuff. And she's like instant vertigo. She's like, I can't watch this.
at the movies or here?
Here, we watched it
Wow.
here.
That's
Well, at least it was only the opening.
yeah.
Yeah, and it stopped, and she's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, she gets really sensitive with that stuff, and you're right. It's like right out of the gate with this
Yeah.
resort.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know if this
It's like the first scene.
I don't know if he's saying like this place is just going to be like, obviously a natural. It's going to be very wild with crazy hedonism and sex, drugs, rock and roll.
All right, so let's go into it. All right, so James is on a nice little getaway with his wife
M.
He's a struggling writer. He has wrote one book and he has one fan, and that happens to be Mia Goth's character, Gabby.
Yes.
She'll eventually come up to him while they're at the resort, and she'll be like, "Oh, I loved your book. It was amazing." She's like,
When's the next one coming out?
She like approaches him like right after there's a weird scene with like somebody getting run down by like a fucking quad or something.
"Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
do they like touch upon that scenario at all?
Yes.
After that?
So apparently the locals hate the resort. They hate the tourists, and I think it's because of what happens with the
stuff.
Yeah.
And she's there. She's very present, and I'm sure there's a reason why she's very present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She I ain't like the movie does go in directions I was kind of not expecting with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is off-putting right from the get-go though.
Her accent is just so wild to me, like right out of the get-go. Like it was just like, whoa.
She's just. It's very clear she's trying to be like. Up in his shit, like trying to get him to fall in love with her.
Overly seductive, like right out of the get-go.
There's a.
And she's like, "Oh, you can meet my my husband or boyfriend or whatever."
Husband.
She says husband. Okay.
His name was Albin.
Yeah, Albin.
And he's like completely fine with it, which is like I'm then off put with how fine he is about everything. I'm like, this is weird. And then she invites them out to dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene cuts, but like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is he like automatically agreeing to this?
Yeah,
and then it does make it very clear at the end that he's just like desperate for love for his book, and he's like, if she's a fan, so he's just like, I guess.
So you didn't get the idea that like he wasn't like in love with his wife anymore in the beginning?
Yeah, I got that a little bit.
Yeah, because she says something right about him being cold, right?
Love loss. Yeah.
M does?
I think so.
Oh, I missed that. But yeah, just like the way he's acting and like the way he's accepting her obsession with him. And I mean, he's obviously just likes the attention, but he's also like, I feel like they're giving the idea of like, oh, he's like getting eyes for this girl.
I didn't really see anything like
happens really fast.
I didn't see anything particularly like wrong with M, but I have a feeling that like it's potentially because he is struggling.
Yeah.
She's rich because of her dad. And then even like that was like dripped into their dinner conversation. So maybe he's just feeling like a type of way that like he's not supporting his wife well, and they're like eventually like drifting apart because they even have different interests. Like I know right in the beginning, they have a conversation where she's just like, I want to go to the island to get Chinese food. And he's like, that's gross. I'm not doing that.
But then immediately accepts a dinner reservation from, that's
place.
what made
same
me,
place at Yang's, right?
Yeah.
That's what made me think like, oh, he's like losing interest in his wife. And then,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's love.
But there were a lot onto something.
Yeah, but there were a lot of like, oh, okay, like they seem fine here, but you know.
No, I do agree that there's love loss for sure.
Well, definitely, because he's really accepting of the next scene.
Oh my God.
So they sneak out, right? They borrow the car from the head of the resort, and they sneak out to a beach, right? Past the resort.
Yep.
Well, I think what we could talk about even after. Oh yeah, we could talk about that. Is the dinner scene after that?
I think it's before, so we can talk about
The only thing I want to talk about the dinner scene is after they go to dinner, they go dancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they fucking he's dancing with her like literally all night, and Albin and Em are just like watching this, and I'm like, does anybody see this being a fucking huge,
I forgot about that.
glaring problem?
Yes.
Like
I
this
thought it was weird.
Such a problem. They were so close and intimate dancing, and those two were at the table watching.
See, I get why Albin's okay with it.
Albin just seems weird, so like we're getting that. But like, why is M like not like
stop
making this an issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come to that.
Get it?
Yeah. So they're gonna sneak off to the beach.
Yes. They can borrow the car. You cannot leave the resort. You're
but
not
they do.
Supposed to, and they borrow the car and they leave.
Everything's going great at the beach. Burgers. There's drinking.
What does he call it?
Water.
What kind of
there's
sausage?
Hand jobs. What?
What kind of sausage has Albin call it? Albin, whatever.
I don't know. Vienna.
He's basically forcing the sausage.
Yeah,
down
he's
his
like, have a
throat.
Vienna sausage.
Yeah.
I made 12. You had 9 already. Come on, you're offending me.
Yeah.
Is that his accent?
It was. I mean, I couldn't have done a better job.
Well, we know
I'm
that.
sure you think somewhere deep down that you could.
Yeah, definitely.
And it would have been the
I can't.
It would have been the
Marlon
best.
Brando and
Yeah.
Godfather.
No, I thought I'd been doing pretty good Mia Goth with Jamesy.
Yeah, her accent is just fucking nuts, dude.
So yeah.
So we're at the beach. We had the sausages.
Yep. So James is gonna pee,
You gotta pee on the beach sometimes.
but then sometimes Mia Goth is gonna come from behind and just start jerking you off instantly.
Post pee, like
post pee,
no
like
time in between pee finishing and jerking.
She
starting.
doesn't even like. She just approaches behind. Imagine just like you're not even hearing what's behind you, and you start getting yanked.
yeah. That's the thing though, because like that's why I would like it's got to be soft, right? He ain't just peeing hard on the beach. Why would he be hard?
Unless it was 7 a.m. and you're just waking
Yeah, but
up. like
he
we talked
wasn't.
about.
It was just
Right,
this
right.
was a beach day, and he's just so she's just grabbing his shit and just
I'm
kind of
just
mashing
gonna,
it.
And I'm just gonna be like,
Passion bump. Passion bump.
Okay.
Very fair.
Passion bump.
I haven't heard this in a minute.
Very fair. Very fair.
he comes in 2 seconds.
Yes.
Wild.
Or
like
this is,
the most impressive thing ever done in a movie. I think.
she might be the greatest hand job giver of all time.
It looked like it was so aggressive. Didn't it look
Damien's
so
in the back
aggressive?
cracking up.
though?
Yes.
So I'm gonna mention. I mentioned it off podcast. I will mention it on podcast when watching this with Caitlin. Caitlin associates me with every man that's ever existed. So she's like, "You better not ever do this. If you do this, I will kill you." And I'm like, first of all, I don't half blame this guy because he didn't even know what was going on. I do understand that he didn't stop, but also it was so quick.
That's what. Okay. Yeah.
And it was so shocking, abruptly shocking, that he came instantly.
Yeah.
And I told Caitlin this would never happen even if I was in the situation, because the biggest glaring issue is I wouldn't come in negative 42 seconds.
And that's the thing, and that's why I don't think he could stop it, because before he knew what was happening, he had came.
Yeah,
That's true. And I love the shot because they just show the ground and the semen hit the floor.
Okay, so
so
now
funny.
this is where we'll talk about movie censorship.
Is there any possibility that he thinks it's his wife?
No, he
right?
turned around and knew who it was.
Oh, he did turn around.
He kind of like.
I mean,
looked
she's
back.
also
Yeah.
like his wife's like, she black.
She's something. He could easily
she's
have just looked at the hand and saw a ghost and been
Right,
like, "This
yes.
isn't my wife's hand."
The skin tone difference was there.
Yes. Yes. So now movie censorship.
Sure.
This is the first reason this movie was originally NC-17. There's actual scenes of the penis being jerked and the cum coming out of the penis. And then for the cut, they just show the drip onto the ground.
Is it his real penis?
No, it's the plastic, not plastic. They use the rubber penises.
Got it.
So you just see a hand, like you see like the side view, but the hand gripped, and you just see the head. So it's like she's just holding the rubber, but you see they rigged it where it can actually come. So
wild.
Crazy technology.
Yeah.
So interesting to cut that. Yeah.
so yeah,
Not every porn video.
I wonder
ever.
why he wanted to go. Is it just because of like more of like theater, like a theater audience would go to a rated R movie?
yeah. That's the thing. If you have an I was kept saying NCAA, NC-17 movie, you can't put it in theaters for people to see. You're going to lose a shit ton of money from box office.
Yeah.
That's why you always have to try to get that R cut.
I was looking at the box office of this movie. It didn't like astound in the.
No,
box
it didn't at
office.
all.
It didn't really like do that. I think it made like honestly, it was like 5 or 6 mil.
Which is kind of crazy because like it's a good movie. It's not like a great movie, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, for sure.
What was the? Do you know what the budget was?
IMDb normally has it. I could see if it has it listed for this
Like
one.
when I saw like what this movie like made in the box office, I'm like, I don't even know how like Hollywood continues to go on, because I feel like you pay your actors that amount. Like I was like so shocked. I'm like, I don't know how this works. What's the movie economy like?
Okay,
4.5. I see.
you found the budget?
This wasn't IMDb though. What does IMDb say?
No, they just have the wow, that's crazy. The worldwide gross was $5 million.
yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't that.
So
much.
this
$500,000.
This did not make, which then means it didn't, because that budget doesn't include, I don't think, like a marketing for the movie.
Why wouldn't it? I don't know anything. I'm like,
I don't think it
actually
does. I think
genuinely
most of the
asking.
time it has to do with like pay for actors, people, props, effects, stuff like
Permits.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Yeah, but
it did not make money.
I think we can immediately get into like what's going
Streaming
to happen
might.
and completely change the trajectory of this movie
Yeah.
entirely.
Well,
It
definitely.
wasn't even the cum scene. It's going to happen on the ride back.
Yes,
was
where
post-cum.
it's dark. They've been drinking. They're going to smash into a foreigner.
Yeah, everyone is like passed out. He's driving.
The most important part is that
his dick is definitely in pain because
Yeah.
of how hard he was jerked off, and he came in negative 42 seconds,
It's-
as we mentioned earlier.
it's James that's driving. That's
Yes.
the important part.
He's gonna get out of the car. The guy's bleeding. He's dying, and they're like, "We gotta call the police." And me, I was like, "Do you know what happens in third world countries? You get raped in jail."
Yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah, she's very aggressive.
This guy's
Is that what she says?
dude.
She literally says you can't call the police in third world countries. These people are savages.
Yeah.
Okay, she doesn't say like rape or anything.
No, but she
obviously
does.
like she knows.
She
but-
she says like these people are savages.
Okay. I wasn't sure how
He
she
was
worded
falling
that.
asleep, but like the way that he contacted this person, his face was dented. Did you see his face on
Yeah.
the floor?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
Dude, his face is fucking dented.
Yeah, he's messed up. So they don't call the police. They just go back, and of course, the next day they are instantly whisked away to jail
Yeah.
for hitting the person.
Yeah, they have to like sneak into the compound.
They like hid the car
into
somewhere.
the resort. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you think this was like a setup, or you think that you just?
Oh well,
found it?
yeah. Me
No,
and
it
Goth-
wasn't. It wasn't.
Well, it wasn't, but it kind of just happened, but I think they were happy it happened this way because he was going to get set up regardless.
He was going to get set up, but then this was like
this was a happy accident for Mia Goth.
For Mia and co. Yeah.
So they get whisked away to jail, and then right away James has to talk to the head of the police.
Head of the police, yeah, and he explains just like I guess the severity and like what they do for money.
Yeah. So basically,
and this is the concept of the movie.
Basically, if you kill someone, this society runs in an eye for an eye, where you get murdered now by their firstborn child.
Literally kills you.
And if there's no firstborn, the state will do it for you.
Yes. So, but there's a loophole to save your life.
Loopholes.
You could get cloned, and your clone could take your place, but the catch is you have to watch your clone get murdered.
You also have to pay an extraordinary amount of money.
It is a lot of money. Yeah.
Well, we don't know because we don't know how much their money is.
That's
like
true.
Their currency,
the currency.
But yeah, but the
It
idea
was a fat stack of their
idea
currency.
Is you got to be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
There's a fucking. It's so to give an idea if you haven't seen it or not going to watch it. They're in like an old building that was probably like an old hospital, like mental hospital.
That's what it looks like.
They use as like the jail, I guess, or the police headquarters or whatever the fuck this is. So he's sitting in this room. They bring him downstairs after they explain what's going to happen. And it's just an empty ass cement room with an ATM.
Yeah.
And he just fucking goes to the ATM, pulls out whatever fucking money, hands it to the guard next to him, and then they bring him to they bring him down the hallway in the middle of an open hallway and start preparing him for the cloning.
Yes.
They don't it's just not
For the cloning.
Yeah.
For the doubling.
So like
Infinity pool.
how did this society have the technology for cloning?
I don't know how this third world bullshit country that just has
US,
like one centralized resort in the whole town, in where the locals all have this weird tribal marking under their eye, have this technology.
2 points. Tribal marking, I'll get to that in a second.
Sure.
Do you think it was the United States that provided, because it's a deal between only the U.S., they only mention the U.S. does this deal with them because they're like your country. Your country provides this
Maybe.
deal.
Yeah, probably.
That would make sense.
So it's not the third. That's my only dumb point is that it wasn't the third world that came up with the third world country that came up with the technology. It was the
outsourced
U.S.
it.
So
Okay, that does make sense.
what did I say? What was the second thing?
The tribal markings.
Do you think all of this happens because Jamesy Wamesy doesn't get his travel marking in the beginning?
I think this happens to tourists.
It does 100%.
I do. I don't think this happens to locals.
But didn't you see all the tourists getting the marking?
Yeah, and I think they do it because they're probably been coming back to the island to murder and do crime.
The people that get the markings?
They come back. They know what the island's all about. Because that's what it seems like this island becomes.
It has to be.
Is that most of the people that come here just come to commit crime because they know they could pay their way out of
They
it.
pay their way out of it, but get the luxury of
Doing the crazy crime with no, like, there's no
consequence.
There's no consequence, and I think that's really the theme of this movie is
100%.
how do people operate when there's no consequence to their actions?
Absence of consequence for sure is the theme. Yeah, no, that does make sense. And I know they even mentioned at the very beginning when they were doing the ceremony with the Eki mass or whatever, and the tribal markings. They explained like what crimes look like, and they were explaining how someone did something and they were like literally strung up and killed like in the front of town. So like they're like it's very severe like what someone would do if they would not have the money to pay for. What they do.
It's dark. All right, so let's clone. He's gonna go into Gangrail's red viscous fluid, and it's gonna like keep bubbling up. And
Would you
like,
call this the infinity pool?
I will call it the infinity pool, and it's just gonna turn it into a fucking LSD trip.
Yeah.
With like bright flashing lights and Mia Goth naked. I assume that's what everyone sees when they've tripped on LSD.
Specifically Mia Goth?
Yes,
Naked
specifically
Goth.
Mia Goth. She is in everyone's LSD dream.
I think I mean, he eventually sees like all these people naked, but yeah.
Oh, well, we'll get to that.
Yes, we will.
So yeah, the clone is made. So James now has to watch his clone get literally stabbed like 47 times.
James and M have to watch.
That's right.
This little fucking farm boy is a sadistic fuck.
Yeah.
He literally stabs his body 172 times.
At least.
And watching this in the beginning, I'm like, I really don't know if this is if this is his real person or if this is the clone.
Okay, so that's where I was a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
Especially
They do
towards
too.
the end.
Yeah.
Because We'll get to it. I don't want to like really. We'll dive deep at the very end. Then
But they make that very apparent, even like afterwards. She does.
They talk
have an
about it.
explanation, Like, do you even know if it's you or the clone?
They
Or you ever
have
know?
this conversation right
Yeah,
here
Yeah.
in the very beginning.
But the thing, the interesting shot is though, and why I thought that was the case. I didn't think it was the case, and then I kind of went back and forth. But when he's watching himself get stabbed, he smiles,
yes.
which was very strange.
So I was looking that up, and a lot of people have theorized it's not that he was the clone smiling. It's just that, and it's why the ending of the movie is the way the movie ends, is that he enjoys it.
yeah, no,
He enjoys getting away with
I
the crime.
throughout the movie,
Literal murder.
I couldn't like. I based on their conversations and the way the movie goes, I don't think like he was ever the clone.
No,
I
me
think
either.
It was always him. So I
Yeah.
do like in the way that the movie goes. I do think that could have been more of a cooler element if they like maybe address that more.
That's
but,
been done before, though. I feel like.
Yeah, and I think the whole moral of the movie of how can you live your life without consequence. I think it takes it away if he's the clone at the end, because then it's like he's just a clone. It's not like
This literally just turns into what's the book that everyone had to read in like elementary or middle school?
Animal Farm.
Oh, The Giver. Oh, Island of the Blue Dolphins. No, oh, sorry. Fahrenheit 451. No, damn it, I got it wrong. Last Babylon. No, that's not it.
Last Babylon. What a book.
Where all the
1984.
Banner in the Sky.
No,
where all
shit.
the rich people go and they hunt like other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The rich people were the most dangerous game.
Oh,
Shit.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Is it
Fuck.
most dangerous game?
What is happening?
You
I
said
think it's the most dangerous
It
game.
was that.
Kite Runner? No.
No, that's the rape book that we read in
They
school.
did another newer like movie version of it just came out.
Oh, The Hunt.
It probably.
the fucking hunt. No, it's most dangerous game is what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it is. The
is
most
The Hunt-
dangerous game is where they hunt people.
Is The Hunt the newer movie?
It just came out like 3 years ago where they hunt people.
Yeah.
The hunt is the
Yeah.
exactly what that
They
is.
end up in like a little bunker at some point.
Never saw the movie. I just
fuck.
know that's the movie
I
you're
have
talking
seen,
about.
hold on.
I have seen it. It's okay.
Emma
Nothing
Roberts
special.
is in it. Yeah, it's The Hunt. Yep.
See,
She
nailed
dies
it.
very early in the movie.
She
Really?
does, but
Sorry.
she's like one of the top like listed
Build?
people.
Of
Wait,
course.
what is this? Drew Barrymore and Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She dies like right away, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, right.
Huh.
Okay.
All right,
Yes,
so
that is what I thought this whole time. I was thinking.
A Raisin in the Sun.
Yes.
A Lesson Before Dying. Color Purple.
I think that's every book we read in school now. That's named.
I don't think I've read a single one. Of them.
I miss A Brave New World.
Oh, good one. 1984.
I read 1984, but an Animal Farm.
Oh, Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged. Fountainhead. Anthem.
Yep. Ayn Rand, everyone's favorite fascist.
Oh my god. She's actually an objectivist. is
That's
she-
what she calls herself.
Which is like a very strange term. You know, like an objectivist.
Yeah.
But that's what she says. Like she views life on like everything's gotta be objective.
Yeah. She's a very interesting writer.
I was like reading it. She's very interesting. Ooh, Catcher in the Rye.
I don't.
Salinger.
I don't know if I actually read that.
Catcher in
one.
the Rye is
I
great if you just like reading about an angsty teenager who wants to see ducks in a pond for like 700 pages.
Oh my god.
What's the one with oh god.
The Outsiders.
Don't make us go down this road again.
I did read.
You read Harry Potter?
I was going to talk about J.K. Rowling for a second, but I'm not going to go down that road either. What's the movie with the like funny? He's like he's mentally not there. The big
Oh, Mice and Men.
No.
Mice and Men. Yeah,
Oh.
Larry, right?
Lenny.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Leper from what was that book called?
Leper. Oh shit. Is that the one with a separate piece?
A Separate Piece.
Oh my god.
Oh, I think I read that too, but I have
Yeah.
no fucking clue what it's about.
God, I actually like.
I don't remember
these
that.
Books. Like,
Yeah, they were
these
good
are
books.
Speaking of good books, let's get back to this movie.
Yeah, we kind of sidetracked. Okay, so
That
after
was
the
an
whole
extra 10-minute.
one thing I wanted to mention after he watches this child murder himself, that was another scene cut by them. There's a scene where while he's pulling the knife out, there's actual flesh that starts to get stuck on the knife while he's pulling it out, so it's like more graphic. I mean, it's still pretty graphic.
Yeah.
They just took the flesh being stuck to the knife
That
off.
is
They
gross.
felt that went too far.
You said that was when the kid was stabbing.
Yeah.
James too.
James too. All right. So after this, he's gonna go meet up with Mia Goth and her husband. But now they're gonna meet a bunch of other side characters. There's like a doctor.
This is
There's a
how you
whore who
know-
loves sodomy. There's a lot.
This is how you know that James is like mega fucked up already because like if I was in that situation, because he left
his wife.
M up in the room like.
Well, they wanted to go home. She want him to leave. But he said he can't. He lost his passport. Let me go talk to them and see if they could help me.
The front desk.
Yeah.
Not even like these people.
And he
then
genuinely lost that passport.
Yeah, he didn't hide it under the sink.
Oh, right.
Under the toilet.
That's right.
Oh, it was under the toilet?
Take it to the bottom of the toilet.
You're right,
oh, my God. I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, he hid his passport as soon as like she wanted to leave.
Wow. Fuck. I never even made that connection. So I remember him finding it, but
he's built in, and like it's like almost like he's in his own book. Let's strip it back. He's in his own book where there's no consequences, and he can do whatever he wants to. All he has to do is see his body double die and smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, he immediately he's trying to get his passport from the front desk or whatever, and Mia comes up. What the fuck's her character's name? Gabby, you said?
Gabby.
So Gabby comes up to James, and Gabby's like, come, like, hang out with us or some shit like that. And he immediately, like, does it.
Do you think that Melissa has done something so heinous in her life that she got her body double as Gabby in this movie, but they never executed Gabby?
Maybe.
I think the most heinous thing Melissa's capable of is burning cookies.
But that is...
Oh, my God.
Well, that was my fault, wasn't it?
It was. It actually was.
So,
these Ecky masks are creepy.
They are creepy. They should sell those. Those are.
They are really good masks.
They remind me of that, like those people with unfortunate disease, like that disease.
Oh, like the movie we did, Sentinel.
Yeah.
It's possible though because she isn't capable of doing something so horrible. So maybe she's the double that's now.
Oh my God! A converted double.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is crazy talk.
Can you convert real quick? Show me what a conversion looks like.
It's like you gotta get that like lip thing going. Or like,
Yeah, it's really weird.
I thought you were gonna Buffalo Bill us.
Oh my God!
When they,
I ain't tucking.
Whoa. The conversion process is weird. They do shove that like stuff in his mouth so only his teeth are exposed and completely strip you naked.
Yeah.
And then they put a bald cap on you too, so your hair doesn't.
So we can confirm that we're very strong to believe that he was never the clone. It's always him, and he's consistently just seeing these doubles. Yes. Now, here's my next question, because this is definitely a thing that's going to happen later. They had to have duplicate doubles of him made at the same time and stored one away.
Yes. Definitely.
Which I don't know how they got away with at all.
Well, they just put him in jail and probably did the whole, hey, you're being held, you're going to have to pay. Blah, blah. Yeah. They gave him the same spiel.
Well, they're fucking rich.
Because they think he's real.
Yeah.
And then suddenly,
that's the thing. They do mention they have to clone him with all of his memories intact. So the clone always thinks it's just him.
That's why it's like such a painful process to watch the clone die because like
he knows everything.
He knows that he is him.
Yeah. This is definitely a Cronenberg style movie.
Like
it's just like
that makes me want to watch more of it because it is like in my mind.
You gotta watch his dad's movies.
Well, his dad is like
the legend,
one of the goats. But like I would.
Oh, it was his dad that did all the 70s, 80s, 90s movies.
Yes. This is his son. His son has just done 3 movies now. This one, Possessor, and Antiviral.
I've seen Antiviral. It's good. It kind of reminds me like of this style where it's a little bit more of like a horror sci-fi thriller.
Gotcha.
He definitely, though, you could tell, got a lot of inspirations from his dad.
His dad was just like a really big like body horror guy.
Yeah.
But I heard Possessor is the best of the 3.
That's why I wanted to do Possessor. So I heard really good things about Possessor. But it's, it's good so far. God, all right, let's talk about this because we could talk. Yeah. All right. So the group, they talk about their crimes, what they did when they first were murdered, yada, yada, yada. They then want to get back at the cloning people, right?
Yes.
Essentially. So they break in, they steal the masks, and then they break into the mansion.
But they also talk about, I don't know if this is important to what you want to bring up, but the reason they're at this guy's house is because he is the one that caused Albin to be arrested in the first place because Albin was building another resort down the road and a crane. He's building an infinity pool and the infinity pool like fell through or some shit and killed 2 workers. So Albin got arrested and that was because of this like other, I think this is the guy that owns the other resort.
Yes.
So they go to his house. Yes. He wins a medal of some kind for having a great resort or some bullshit and they want to go steal the medal and I guess fuck with them.
I'm going to tell you this right
where we're
now.
at.
Everything you said was super important and very vital, but I only wanted to get to the scene so we could talk about that guy's penis.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to, before we got into the 20-minute conversation of his penis, I wanted people to know where we were at.
You're putting out facts. I'm trying to figure out, how does that man's penis look like it does?
Can I have the remote? Oh my God, no.
Oh, speaking of Cronenberg, that's a Cronenberg movie I want to watch.
What was it?
Crimes of the Future.
That's his newest one, right?
Do they also have to make
That's
doubles?
the father.
That's the
way.
father. Yeah, David did that one.
They were doing similar stuff, and they were gangbanging as like a group of 4 or 5 people.
So
she's like eyeing him down the whole time. She's eyeing down James, who has a gun. And she's like, have you ever done this before? Because clearly she's been coming here for years.
yeah.
They're also very quick to take their masks off.
Oh, they don't care.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. No consequences.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's why they take the masks off. Essentially, they shoot up the place. They kill definitely the woman because she gets shot
accidentally
like in the spine. Like,
yeah.
and
They shoot him in the stomach too.
They
no?
do, right?
Or
Yeah.
somebody does.
I think Albin, doesn't Albin just start getting gun happy?
Yeah.
They'd start like running away and like shooting behind them.
Yeah.
And, like act like I don't know.
So they leave. They're partying, having a good time. They all wake up in jail.
Yes.
Now they're like arguing what's happening, what's going on. Little did we know at first, this was the clones having this conversation because they're ready in the audience getting ready to watch their clones get fucking their throats slit. And then like James's clone puts up a fight and he gets his throat slit. And then they all cheer because he put on such a good performance.
Yeah, they were happy and smiling and enjoying the shit out of that.
And that's all crazy.
It is really sick.
So now I guess let's talk about ayahuasca and the benefits of smoking it and how it leads to group orgies.
Is that confirmed ayahuasca?
It's not. It's its own like
in that bowl where
yeah.
she just like
it's its own like fake island drug, I believe. But
yeah.
let's just
Yeah,
call
they
a
said
spade a spade. It's ayahuasca.
it's ayahuasca. It's
They
a
said
little
it was-
Tolqa ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Native to the land, and it was a religious. Drugs are banned in this country, but
Do you,
it's a religious thing or something.
What are your thoughts of these infinity pool like hyper-sexualized scenes of him banging Mia Goth and like all the other nudity that happens?
Yeah, there's a lot of sex between a lot of different people. I'm
Yeah,
assuming he also
this
fucks
scene
the
was
guys.
also cut in for the rated R version. There's more graphic scenes of like more close-ups of like penetration or stuff.
I was gonna say he definitely like fucks the guys, right?
I just think it's like an orgy. Like this, like
That has to happen.
Albin just
Yeah.
jerking off to his wife getting
Oh
plowed.
yeah.
So they're all just like in it. They're
is
all
super
literally.
cooked.
This is as close as you can get to a shunting ritual.
Yeah, those are the other people.
Yes,
in the
yeah.
back. Like,
They
those are the other
start-
people of the group. Because I think he's just straight up banging Mia Goth.
Yeah.
But they're all like on top of each other.
Yeah. No, it's a full on
like the-
bang fest.
Yeah.
It's
also
getting
could
hot.
all-
It's getting heavy.
This also could just not be.
And the
happening.
dudes are doing it too. Look, there's 2 guys.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I brought that up. All right. So I wasn't wrong about that part.
Yeah. This is fucking.
Yeah, this is a pretty.
This is
If we
intense.
pause
It's
for a
hard to
couple
s-
minutes,
It's hard to see, but it's just like bright lights and just like very, very,
sensual.
very sensual. I guess that's the best word to
Well,
describe
their
it.
faces also start to morph into the masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, hypersexualized
Or
the
they're-
Eki masks.
Yeah.
Or they're
they
wearing the
they might
masks.
be wearing them. This also all might not be happening at all.
Yeah, because doesn't he start to suck the tit and it turns into like a
The
a
needle
worm?
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That we were talking about before. Yep.
He does suck on Mia Goth's nipple. That's a thing.
That turns
happens.
into like something.
Yeah. Give it a second.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. This
Imagine
scene is
having-
also like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
it's
imagine
a
like
long sex scene.
having to act this out.
I don't know if this is.
Well, I mean, there's not like this full penetration. They're just
Well,
like on top of each
obviously,
other.
but like still.
Yeah, you
No,
only
don't
get
say
full
that.
penetration. What was that
Okay.
movie? Don't Look
Yeah,
Now.
you would be surprised. There's a lot of movies with full penetration, like more than you would think.
Well, that's the thing. There has been times where actors and actresses have actually had sex on set for the film.
I mean, not full
Really?
penetration on screen, but have the actresses and actors
Right.
have sex? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Because I think Don't Look Now is the famous one where Donald Sutherland actually banged
Yeah,
out that girl on set.
There's a few. I think Chloe Sevigny's in a real
One where
sex
they
scene.
did it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It happens.
Yeah. All right.
They're just not something most people know about.
I always figured, but
Yeah, me and Brian do our research.
well,
We,
yeah,
you know,
alone at like 10 o'clock at night.
I have a feeling it happens like more rarely nowadays, but
probably
Right,
there's
right,
probably
right.
laws. Crazy, right?
yeah,
Harvey Weinstein ruined Hollywood.
he really did. What a shame.
All right, let's not go there, let's talk about other stuff like the rest of this movie.
What is that? Is that oozing nipple?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The nipple turns into like the worm or something.
That chick is the other chick, right?
Yes.
That's the redhead or whatever.
Or something.
Yeah.
And she's like putting blood smears on their Eki masks.
Yeah.
It's like the nipple.
It pulsates.
Yeah, this can't be real. Right? This is hallucinatory for sure.
Yeah, this is the ayahuasca speaking.
It's a drug-induced ayahuasca trip.
That part.
The nipple sucks. The nipple sludge is remarkable.
Yeah, nipple sludge. That's a good way to put it. It's fucking disgusting.
Yo, just wait until fucked up February. We're going to talk about a lot of nipple things.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Basically,
now that 5-minute sex scene is done, we're not watching it anymore.
We're gonna move on to they have breakfast. Also, why do none of them know how to use fork and knives? I that's a thing that is an ongoing theme in this movie. Because doesn't Mia Goth struggle to cut the bread?
But that was part of her acting thing.
Yeah. She was showing because she fails naturally.
Yes.
That was her whole spiel.
She cannot go without the product. That was her whole thing. She's an actress. So, like, she's always the one in the commercials that, like, fucking fails at the product.
That's right. So that's why they were doing it. Okay.
They're also super fucked up still.
Yeah, on ayahuasca.
Scene.
You ever want to do ayahuasca? Me, never. Like,
no, I don't I don't want to do anything where I'm just seeing things that don't exist.
I don't want to be compromised.
Yeah.
I'm good with a meek buzz at most. Not drunken, but meek buzz, Shane.
Well, I've seen you drunken though.
Yeah, but I regret that.
Every single time.
But all right, so they're gonna like eventually be like, all right, let's get like revenge on the jail keep or whatever.
The police officer.
Yeah.
Like let's get rid of him.
So they're gonna like kidnap him. There's this whole thing. They're gonna start having James beat him, and then James finds out it's his own clone. So they're just fucking with James at this point.
They already had his own clone that he was just like fucking pummeling because James is fully bought in now.
So he's fucking pissed. He's going to hide, run from them. This is when his wife has left already. She has left the island.
His wife has fully left, and does she realize that he had his passport?
I don't think. Yes, because he booked an extra stay before she had even left.
Yep. Yeah, so he was never leaving with her.
Yeah.
So you think she knew?
I think she had an idea that he wanted to stay.
I think she knew he was fucked, fucked up from the first ever cloning thing. But
so he's gonna grab his passport. He's gonna call his wife. He's like, "I'm sorry. I'm coming home. I made some mistakes. There's nowhere to run. I'm coming home."
Yeah.
So this is where he gets onto the bus.
Yes,
and it's going great.
Yep.
He's on the bus until the bus
stops
because they're being shot at by Mia Goth as fucking Bonnie and Clyde.
They're driving next to them, the whole group.
Yeah,
but primarily them. And then they somehow get in front of the bus and make it stop. They're shooting into the bus too, right?
They didn't start shooting.
Well, they shot the window of the bus. That's why the bus stopped originally.
And then I know the bus driver's just like, oh.
Yeah. And that's when she's like, "We just want the swine James."
Yeah.
James?
Jamesy. Oh, Jamesy, come out, Jamesy. We just want to play, Jamesy.
They're like torturing him now because he's fucking fully freaked out now that he realized he was beating up. They had him beating up his own clone. That was just like a self-actualization of how far he's come.
Yeah. So that's when they get him. He finally comes out, and they like make him walk back to the resort as they are riding in cars behind him as Mia Goth is just chugging a bottle of either wine or vodka.
So, sorry, Scott. I'm saying there really is no purpose to what they're trying to do other than just get away with stuff they couldn't get away with. So this is like their vacation. But like we confirm that like Mia Goth chose him because they knew how far they could manipulate him.
That's where she goes on the rant on this part.
So can he had to have been here for weeks. So Albin in that when they went to the other guy's house to steal the medal, Albin gets shot in the leg. And that's why they end up in jail and have to make clones and watch themselves die again. He gets shot in the leg. Then they do this kidnapping of the cop, and he's on a cane.
Yeah.
And he gets shot in like the thigh.
Yeah.
You know, how long does that take to heal? Probably like 4 to 6 minimum. I don't know. Probably more. Maybe if it hits the bone, way more. He, at this part where they're at the bus, he doesn't have a cane anymore. So this had to have been going on for weeks.
Yeah, in terms of the time span for recovery from the shot.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's fully like normally walking.
Or it's a plot hole.
Or he's a clone.
Yeah.
Or it's a plot hole.
It's most likely
We're
a
gonna
plot
go plot
hole.
hole. Yeah.
It's most likely
For
a plot
everything
hole.
else to stick, it's kind of got to be a plot.
Plot hole.
Right. It seems like all this should have happened within like 2 weeks.
Yes.
This has got like a weird purge element to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like getting away with what you can and just like living your fucking free hedonistic self.
Yeah. No rules. Do whatever you want. And apparently James has just wanted to murder for so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna walk back.
Well,
like
he
you
needs
said,
he needs inspiration.
He
for
does.
his book.
He needs to live it.
me and Goff's even gonna be like, no one's read your fucking book, you loser. You think I read your book? I Googled you just so I knew how to manipulate you.
Yeah, it's funny because he's like, oh, I read your book, whatever it was called. I forgot the name of it. It was like the fucking Hidden Sheath or something.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it
that
doesn't
sounds right,
matter. No one
actually.
cares.
It's something with Sheath.
Yeah.
He never asked in the beginning. He just like, hey, like, what's your favorite part of my book?
Yeah.
He
He just accepts it. He just accepts
Yeah.
it.
He was obsessed with the fact that there was a
Someone
fan.
actually liked his book.
Yeah.
So eventually he's gonna like sprint into the forest. Mia Goth though is gonna fire blindly and somehow snipe him in the leg.
Literally ridiculous. When I'm like,
Most ridiculous in a movie of cloning. Most ridiculous scene in the whole
Yeah.
movie.
I agree.
100%. That blind fire snipe on his leg was wild.
Yeah.
The fact that would not be deflected by any of the various trees or anything in the
Hundreds.
forest.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
But it has to make sense because they didn't even think to try to run after him into the woods when they're just sitting drunk on the street while they're laughing at him and Mia starts firing.
So they're gonna eventually find him in a cabin, right? He rests up in a cabin and
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, he goes to a cabin, rests up. It's actually the farm boy. Well,
Oh
Yeah.
he has that like weird like
He's like a hallucination.
he like hallucinates the.
well, he's
the-
still high.
Is it you think it's a result of being high?
Yeah,
Is
I
it a
do.
Nightmare.
I do.
Or- yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he hallucinates the boy that's there.
The
And
boy
it's
that
very creepy
killed his
because
original
his
clone.
smile is super creepy
Yeah.
in that scene.
So at this point, they find him and they're like, come out. There's nowhere to run. And when he comes out, Mia Goth has his clone as a dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, how
Bring
has she
out the dog.
trained him to be a dog? I don't know.
Pet subject. How's she done it in such a short time?
Yes.
How did they do? So I'm assuming that when they had one of the doubles made, they had an extra double, and then they've just
They
stored it.
lobotomized it.
Like how else could it have been?
Yeah, no, I agree. So
And it seems also like arbitrary to the rules that they set up because I don't know. You can make more than one double, but I guess you could do whatever the fuck you want.
there's
When they got the money.
Yeah, they do have the money. They're super rich. Apparently,
The guy from Resident Evil is just a corrupt cop that wants money. That they say that they're like because he wants his pockets lined with money, like
Yeah.
he'll do whatever.
So I think the whole idea here is they want James to kill his own clone so he like becomes one of them. Like he's almost like freeing himself from himself. That's why killing himself is like this big symbol.
Yeah, they want to manipulate him and get him to the point where like he has killed his former self and has completely freed himself from any inhibition. Has become a total savage.
Yes. Which he won't do it until the clone attacks him and then has to kill it to stay alive himself.
Correct.
And then they all cheer. And then literally the next day they all go to the airport to leave.
Like as a group of like normal people.
On vacation.
Yes.
They start talking on the bus. They're like, "Oh, so fucking
Gotta get that pool installed this weekend.
They're like, "Oh, did the babysitter? Did they do this? Like, oh, yeah, I forgot to pay them. Shit." Like,
Yeah, we gotta pay the babysitter when we get back.
He looks appalled.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I think it's mentioned, like, it's why he doesn't go back. So I think I read up on this. The whole idea is like these people are so deranged that they could just go back to their normal lives.
Right,
And
okay.
they can live their normal lives having done this like nothing had happened. But James still does have that sense of like
Yeah,
himself.
They broke him, and he still has that like that compassion and peace of himself where
That he can't
realized
go back home.
He
to
did
normal.
something so wrong that he would never be able to return.
And that's why he stays on the island.
Or he's going to become the king of the island and like the leader of this whole group in Infinity Pool 2.
Yeah, well, he might have to because like, there's no other turning back. But
Yeah.
you could tell he's deeply disturbed.
That's why he can never face his wife again, which is why
Right.
he decides to stay on the island rather than go home.
Yeah. What was I just going to say? Sorry, continue.
That's it. So if you got your thought, because that's the end of the movie, it's him sitting on the island in the rain, just contemplating what he's done with his life.
Important point of the resort is that there's a rain season that is like so bad that they can't have people. They are literally at the end of the movie. They show the whole resort. Everything's covered in cloth and everything so that it's preserved for the next season.
Correct.
So there's nobody there.
They talked about that at the very, very beginning of the movie.
In the beginning,
they said the season's coming to a close.
Yeah.
And he's just there for that season.
So I guess that also helps your point of it had to have been only like a 2-week span.
Yeah.
Which also hurts the point of Albin being able to really recover from his injuries.
Which is why I think that is just a plot hole.
Yeah.
They also left all those chairs out. Those shit are going to go right into that ocean or whatever that is.
There's no rules.
Yeah. It's an interesting movie for sure. I do think there's while I really do like the movie, and I'll let you do the review first, Shane.
No, you can go for it. It would be breaking protocol, I guess.
We don't do that. I really like the movie. I really do. I do think there is some logical jumps you have to make with this one.
Yes.
I don't think it's completely a cohesive movie.
Oh, no. I had to look up a lot of stuff for this just to understand.
It does make sense, and I do agree that he was never the double. It was always him that completely losing himself, and I do agree that he can never go back and face his family, face the world, because he does feel that weight of I was living without consequence, but now I feel the weight of my actions because I can't just get away with this where everybody else is just turned off their emotion.
Yes, and they could just go back.
I can't go back. I can't pull an Andrew Whitmore and Pig. I just can't go back.
Oh my God. That's a fucking reference that no one will understand. But I did.
Those are the best. Thomas Kretschmann, that's the guy from Resident Evil. God. He was in the first movie, he was the cop of, or the head of Umbrella, where he's standing on top of the wall of the city.
Is that the second one?
No, the first.
Because the first one, the whole movie takes place in the mansion.
Second one. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give my review real quick.
Sorry, useless information.
No. Trust me. All we do here is useless information. I'm gonna give this movie a 6. I was considering 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go 6.
Yeah.
I think 6 is fair because it does have these little plot holes as we go. It's one of those things. I think I was going to give it a 7 up until we talk about it, and I realized there's these little plot holes that kind of make the movie not make some sense here and there. But Mia Goth does get a little annoying. I'm a Mia Goth fan. I'm not taking a shot at her, but she does get a little annoying towards the end. But I don't think you're supposed to like her at all anyway. So. I think Alexander Skarsgard does a great job in this movie.
He's a really good fucking actor.
Yeah, he does a great job. It's actually pretty brutal at times with the clone kills, the stabbings and the head beatings and the.
I can only imagine with the NC-17 version.
Yeah, the head beating. It's all more just cracked open fleshy bits and stuff like that. A lot of it was probably taken down because of the sex. Gore gets through censors a lot easier these days than the sex scenes. You still can't show a penis ejaculating. What a shame.
I feel like in Europe it's kind of
the opposite.
The opposite, yeah.
You could get away with a lot more sex, but you put gore too gory. No. Which, to be fair, you could look at it either way. What's more normal to see, sex or gore? Probably sex, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, because sex is in any genre.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6. Very close to a 7. Probably should have gave it a 7, but I'll move it over to you, Brian.
Yeah, I'm also with you. I have it as a very high 6. Same. Struggled with this 6-7 conversation because it feels like a 7, but I just couldn't muster myself to get there because I think the concepts are really cool. The ideas are really great, but there are just some things that are they are tough plot holes to write in. But other than that, I mean, like I said, conceptually, really cool idea, and I just totally credit that to a Cronenberg vision. Father, I call him the king of body horror, and then his son has got this weird, interesting, sci-fi thriller element to his movies where he just tries to give his characters always this out-of-body experience that just always turns out to fucking crush society in some way. But, it's definitely a trip. Hallucinatory dream. The whole hour and 57-minute runtime. So high 6, couldn't go 7, but definitely it's a movie that I definitely was, very pleased with throughout.
Okay. Scott.
I will give it, I'm going to go with the limp 7 because I agree with the very strong 6, but I think I can go over despite I was going to start this by saying a 5 because of Albin's leg, but missed that opportunity there. But because of there's a little bit of a plot hole issue. But it was, to me, unique. I haven't seen any of Cronenberg, yeah. I haven't seen any of Brandon Cronenberg or his father, any of his movies. I'm going to watch a lot of them now, I think.
You should.
But I think I told you, Shane, immediately, like, oh, it's very unique. Like, it's something different to me. Like, there might be stuff out there, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was kept me engaged.
Yeah. No. And there might be
7.
one movie you have seen with David Cronenberg. Jason X.
Oh, shit.
Gets killed at the very beginning.
I don't know if I got that far.
You've never seen Jason X. Like,
I got up to,
literally
like,
the best Jason movie of all time.
I got up to like 6 or 7 this year.
He also is one of the leading actors in a movie called Nightbreed in the 80s. I don't know if you ever.
That I haven't
Yeah, he
seen.
plays like the villain.
Okay, so I got to watch that now.
It was
I'm
interesting.
just talking about him and Jason X.
What I would say with this movie is, while it is like extremely original in the concept of the doubles in the infinity pool, the whole idea of them like going and rampaging afterwards is something that we have definitely.
Oh, definitely,
seen before.
definitely.
You know what I mean? But like, but the original idea is very unique. But I would say like afterwards they basically purge.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
something that we've seen before.
Right.
All right.
Maybe I don't know what the name of the movie might have been, but yeah, I've definitely seen it.
Yeah,
a couple times.
it's in a few movies where people just completely lose themselves
And they
And
just
just
purge.
purge.
and they purge. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Purge. All right.
They
So
probably purge a few times.
we
Maybe
got
a few more than necessary, but
I mean, talking about purging though, we got to talk Necronomicon
Yeah.
and who we're purging into this thing. And technically, there's only clone kills and
James 2,
the first
James
guy
3.
who gets hit by a car.
Yeah, I mean, like it's all clone kills. So I'm
Farmer, James, the whole crew gets killed at one
And then
point.
James 3.
Yeah. Well, that might be James 4.
Are
No,
you-
that is James
Are you
4.
counting clones as actual kills? I hear James 1, 2, 3, and 4.
James 2 is his first. James 3 is the group setting where we think it's them at first, then they all die. And then James 4 is the dog.
All that considered, I'm going the farmer. He had a dented face.
Yes.
He was hit pretty hard, and it fucking spirals the movie out of control. That's who I'm going with.
It's either that or the rich guy
You
that
guys
they
can go
that
with
they
James
kill.
3 and 7. That's your prerogative.
I was thinking James 1, where James first watches James get stabbed.
James 1?
Yeah, James 1. James 1.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking,
Yeah,
too.
the farmer has the most horrible life living in a third world country and then
Getting hit by a
gets
car.
fucking smoked by a car at like 8 or 9 p.m. by a bunch of drunk tourists.
What the fuck was he doing?
I don't know.
honestly.
I don't know.
I thought it was a setup the whole time, like he was not a real person, like you know what I mean, like he was meant
Wow,
to
just
not
because he's
get
a
hurt.
third world country, he's not a real person. Is this?
I thought he was meant to not get hurt or something,
Yeah.
and
We are
then
the most racist podcast out there. JK.
Just not throw that out there. That's
No.
crazy. I do good accents.
Rolling.
We're
Rolling?
not racist. Huckman 42.
Whoa, okay,
Just
time out.
kidding.
Let's not do that.
Nah.
No, yeah, my accents are on point, so we can't even
You're
say
just
that.
racist against Italians.
Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was actually.
That was like Sopranos and Joey Tribbiani. Like,
See?
line.
I'm right there. All right, so
You did enough to
we're
get
gonna
by.
we're gonna go with Farmer number 7.
Yes.
Farmer, you were out, you were about, it was night, you were hit by a car. That's all I got. Because really, what do any of us know about
That's
you?
literally his whole
We
life.
know you were a farmer on La Troca Island, and you're dead.
And you raised a fucking
Savage of a son.
Yeah.
complete and total savage.
Psychopath. Maybe it's better you're dead. Welcome to the Necronomicon. You could sit right next to the radio in the thing. Which made honorable mention, I believe.
Or what was it, the radio in The Wicker Man?
We have put multiple radios into the Necronomicon.
What about radio?
The actual, like, Cuba Gooding Jr. movie?
Yeah.
That movie does deserve to be in the Necro. All right. Scott, I would say it was nice seeing you. We'll see you again later, but we'll literally see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because the next
I can't
episode, we are doing a precursor to Fucked Up February movie.
Right,
We're
yeah.
doing Calvert.
It slides in.
Yeah, it
Slides.
slides
fair. It kinda-
right in.
It replaces. Well, let's not use any sliding terminology based on that movie.
Oh my God.
Things slide in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of sliding.
There's a lot of sliding.
it kind of replaces, because at the end of the month of February, you're going to miss a fucked up February movie and have a nice special treat. So this will replace that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
You
very
know?
fair.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am too. Calvert, it's a movie of our childhood.
Yeah, we watched it a while ago. Came out
Really?
in
That's
04.
how you fucking
Nah,
knew?
this movie came out what? It came out in
04.
like 04. It did come out that long ago.
And we watched it a while ago.
We watched it like we were in high school.
Yeah, we probably watched it like 09.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
What a fucking movie.
Well, come back next week and we'll talk all
It's on-
about
it's
it.
on Shudder.
That's yep. So
Definitely on
like
Shudder.
like
Yeah,
I
prepare.
always say, because I say it every single time, we're the final podcast signing off, and we'll see you next week when we find out Calvert isn't the name of the town.
God, you're actually right. www.thefinalpodcast.com. I say it every week, and that's where all of our stuff is if you want to find us. Obviously, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for reviews. We want to thank Scott, the Hitman Hucke, for being on this episode. He'll be back next week, and you can
Always a
catch all of our
pleasure.
episodes of this show every Monday, and of the Final Friday show with Mike G, who we may or may not be an actual serial killer on Friday.
We're taking bets on that one.
Yeah,
So.
he's a cannibal for sure. We'll see you then.